Mulaho. So it's 6 a.m. and I'm out alone in Musanze, Rwanda. And this morning I'm just heading towards Volcanoes National Park. It's one of the most impressive parks here in northern Rwanda. As you can see, Shish isn't here. She decided to sit this one out. I'm just heading out to the national park because there's a bit of a hike that people said was really incredible. So I'm just heading there to the park entrance because that's where the hike is organized from. So early in the morning, I'm so nervous because we are not big hikers, as you already know on this channel. The first task is to find a motorbike taxi that will take me there. It's about 11 kilometers or so. So hopefully, okay, there is a motorbike guy who's getting ready to come across the street. So we try and hitch a ride there. So, just going to check in. They asked for a copy of the passport. I hadn't read it online, so I didn't bring a photocopy, but I have the original passport. So, we go and get that sorted now. Okay, so I finished the registration. Turns out at this point, I'm the only one who signed up for the Dian Fossey trek. Most of the people are here for two treks. One is a gorilla tracking experience, which is about $1,500 right now because it's the off season. There is a discount of I think 30% or so. So instead of the usual 1,500 US dollars, it's about 1,050. And the other trek that most people do here is to climb Mount Bisoke, which is behind these shrubs. It's about 30 kilometers out. The starting point for all of these treks, including the one for Dian Fossey, yeah, it's 6:50 now, and I was just told that until 7:20 I'll just have to linger around. There's some free coffee and tea, and then by the time more people gather here, they'll start to brief. So I did read about this online. You don't have to get here this early, but because I was riding here on my own, that's what I did. And there's a lot of filming crews here. So many people with giant cameras everywhere. And I also have to find a ride for the last stretch. Hello, morning.
Welcome to Cushion Coffee.
Thank you. One hot chocolate, please.
Hot chocolate?
Yes. So it looks like I'm the only one on this trek. Nobody else has shown up. They usually do 16 people in one group every day. And last night at around 9:30 p.m. when I signed up for it, there were 16 slots still available. So now that I checked with the officer, just me, but the other two treks are pretty full. Like you can see a huge crowd on the lawns here. Let me. See, the roads are terrible. And this is why you need like a 4x4. So we just got walking sticks. This is going to be necessary. What is the name, Daniel, of this?
Gerardinia. That the white leaves one is Gerardinia. Yes.
But both of them are poisonous, huh?
No, they're not poisonous. They hurt you, but nothing can happen.
Okay. They just give you a rash.
Small one, they are good vegetables. If you cook them, you eat them, they are good for stomach.
Okay.
And it is a favorite food for gorillas as well.
Oh, I see. Gorilla poop.
Yeah.
2 days old. It looks so crazy here.
Why?
Like the plants,
Yeah.
you know. So we are now maybe a third of the way up, and right now you see all of these people, they are hiking up to Mount Bisoke. We go this way, and Daniel and I, we go this way to Karisindi volcano, and that's it's the same way, right?
Yes.
But the volcano is after.
Yes, it's next.
Yeah. So we're on this trail, and this is where I guess everybody goes that way, and then we are all alone. It sinks quite deep. This forest is so beautiful, but also so dangerous. Like if you don't have the right gear, you can easily sink into the mud if you don't have the stick especially. But the plants are also beautiful, and once in a while you can hear some animal calling. Till now we've heard antelopes. You called it the bush bark, right?
Yeah.
Daniel? So it's an antelope, but it sounded like a dog. And of course we've heard many birds, and somewhere we also heard a family of gorillas, but they were quite far away, so the sound was faint. We haven't seen any of them yet. Like here, or maybe further up? So gorillas in the mist was shot somewhere in this area right here.
I mean, it is a pillars, and then
You can see the mountain from here. Is that Bisoke?
yes, that's Bisoke. Because all cabins have been destroyed.
Oh,
Yeah.
because of rain and...
No, between 1990 and 1994, you remember we experienced the war on the genocide. So then during that time, the rebels destroyed everything.
I see.
So what is there is only small signpost that we put on different locations to show you that, for example, this was the cabin for Dian Fossey was here, something like that.
Okay.
Because when Dian Fossey started to come and study gorillas, she didn't come here in Rwanda because it was 1966. You know, this park, Volcanoes is the first national park.
Okay.
Started in Africa, 1925. The purpose was to ensure survival and the protection of these mountain gorillas. We can say that the idea of creating this area as a first national park started early in 1902 when a German explorer, his name is Captain von Behring, when he was in Rwanda for exploration, he got surprised to see 5 volcanoes at the same time in this area.
Okay.
So as the explorer, he decided to hike to the summit of one of them called the Sardinia. He wanted to know what is happening on that summit, because that volcano is shared between Rwanda, Uganda, and Congo. So then on his way to the summit, that's when he encountered the mountain gorillas.
Oh, wow.
Because it was his first time to see gorillas, he didn't have enough information about them. So he killed some of them and took samples in Germany for further research. So that's when they realized that the gorillas that we have here are unique and cannot be seen elsewhere on this planet Earth.
Wow.
So it was in the colonial period. That's why they pushed the government of Belgium, scientists pushed the government of Belgium to ask them to set aside this area as a special zone for conservation of gorillas. So then in 1925, the Belgium created this Virunga Massif as a first national park. It was called the Parc National Albert National Park, because Albert was the king of Belgium. So they named the park after their king.
Okay.
After independence, that's when each country renamed their side. So Rwanda side now is called the Volcanoes National Park. Uganda side now is called the Mugahinga Gorilla National Park, and the Congo side is called the Parc National de Virunga. And since its creation as a national park in 1925, different scientists and researchers started coming in this area to study these gorillas. A famous one is the American scientist called Dian Fossey. She came here in 1967. But initially she went in Congo because in 1950s there is another American researcher called John Leakey. His purpose was to study 3 species of great apes: mountain gorillas, chimpanzees, and the orangutans. So he wanted the people who are interested in helping him. So then 3 ladies show interest in participating in this research activity. That's why Jenny Gudo decided to work on chimpanzees in Tanzania, in Gombe Stream National Park. And then Mary Gordikas decided to work on orangutan in Borneo. And Dian Fossey decided to work on gorillas here in the Virunga Massif. So she went in Congo to the feet of Michano volcano. It's not far from here. And there was already a research station. She started working on gorillas. It was in 1966. But because of the war and the insecurity, she didn't manage to stay there for a long time. So she was forced to leave the place by force. And then she flew to Rwanda side. So by crossing the border between Rwanda and the Congo, she slept to another American woman who lived in north of Gisenyi, not far from the border between Rwanda and the Congo, and not far from the park. So her name is Rose Mudukar. She was growing flowers there. And then we had very few hotels, so it was hard for Dian Fossey to find where to stay. That's where she preferred to go and stay to the Rose Mudukar.
Okay.
And then they were talked about what she was doing in Congo and how she failed to stay there because of the war. And then Rose Mudukar suggested Dian Fossey to come and try from Rwanda side. Because we were talking about the borders inside of the park, but gorillas, they didn't know where are the boundaries and they are free to move anytime. So that's why then when Dian Fossey came in Musanze town, she was able to see some volcanoes, including Micheno, where she lived before. And then she came up with an idea of coming toward this side to try to search near the border with the Congo, if she can have a chance of encountering the family she was following in Congo coming to Rwanda.
Okay.
So then when she arrived here, she started finding the footprints for the gorillas.
Oh.
And she decided to pitch her tent here and follow the footprints. So the footprints took her to another family of gorillas, but which is different from the one she was following in Congo.
Okay.
And as she had already skills of habituating gorillas, she decided to stay here and start her research center and work on that family. It was in 1967. And that's how she ended up creating her research station here. And for naming her research station, she referred to both names of two volcanoes you have here. We have Karisimbi here and Bisoke here.
Karisoke.
So then she divided both names into two. Karisimbi take prefix, Kari, and Bisoke take suffix from Bisoke and put two words together to form Karisoke Research Center, because it is a research center which is between Karisimbi and the Bisoke volcano. And then one day in 1977, one of her favorite gorilla called Digit killed by poachers. It was very sad for Dian Fossey. That's why she created a grave near her cabin and buried Digit on the same day. That's when she wrote in her notebook that if I die, do bury me here near my friend Digit. So that's why in 1985, after being killed by poachers, of course they did investigation and testing to the hospital, but they took her body back here inside of the park to bury her near the Digit, as she said when she was alive. So that's now why this is the beginning. We are heading to the grave. Of course, we will see some locations, but nothing there now. This is where some cabins were constructed. The details are on the signpost, but on the ground, nothing except a small signpost.
Okay.
So then finally, it will be the grave for Dian Fossey and near Digit, as I said earlier.
So each of them is one gorilla?
Yeah, we have 25 gorillas buried here.
Oh. And which one of them is Digit?
The Digit is here. The one who was buried here.
No one loved gorillas more. Rest in peace, dear friend. Yeah. Eternally protected in the sacred ground, for you are home where you belong. It looks so calm, no? And peaceful. Somewhere there's a family of gorillas. We heard the sound again, but it's just not, I guess, in our day to see them. So we are now at a town called Bisoke. That's where we came from, and we're now waiting for a ride back into town. Reunited with the shish. What did you do all day?
After telling bye to you, I went back to sleep.
Okay.
And then I got up really late, around 10 o'clock.
Nice.
Then I took a bath. I went out to see if others were ready, but they were still sleeping. So I went back.
Sunday mood.
Then I came out and then I was, Bonnie was plucking cassava leaves to make lunch.
Okay.
So I helped her pluck some leaves.
Okay.
And after that we had lunch together. She had made pasta with some vegetables and boiled cassava leaves in the side.
Okay.
Tasted good, and you missed it.
For you, I'm so hungry right now.
And after that, the little boys went to sleep, and I and Bonnie were just sitting and chatting, and that's when I got a message from you telling you're done with your trek.
Okay.
That's
so
it.
Now we are on our way to the town again. Maybe we'll go get something to eat. And then at 6, we are again meeting Bonnie and her new friend, also from couchsurfing somewhere in town. So that's our plan. It's probably our last day here. Tomorrow we'll head onwards to the next place.
But you must be wondering how Navneet has so much energy even though he has not had any food throughout the day. It's because he's swallowed just one pill, vitamin B complex, And surprisingly, like magic, he's just springing.
Ying, ying, ying.